status and the potential of the goat meat in entrepreneurship development. As everybody knew, the goats are being known as a poor man's cow, and it's being true. You can tell me any other food animal which is being reared on the zero input system without providing anything. And tell me any other animal which is being reared, which has no competition with the food basket of the human being. And it's being reared only on the fodder loops, tree loops, as well as the browsing on the development on the browsing, and that's to the pasture area for others. So, and the increase in the weight from almost 2 kg to 25 kg minimum is being there that in 1 year. That's also being one of the achievement for the small ruminants. They are being increasing the weight from 2 kg to 25 kg minimum for the, especially for the small breeds, whereas the large breeds, it can go even up to 50 kg in 12 months and without any input. That's also being one of the rare attribute for the food animals. It's being a survivor animal. The goats and the sheep, even the small ruminants as a whole, they are being surviving at a minus 50 degrees centigrade to the plus 50 degrees centigrade. Such a huge panorama of these animals is being available with respect to the climate changes. They are being most climate resilient animals are being there. These goat especially were in that. And it's being one of the premier meat animals, which has no social taboos are being attached. The poultry meat, which is in fact capturing around 51% of the total meat production, whereas this goat meat is being contributing around 13.53% of the total meat produced in India. But if we see the pricing of amongst all the meat animal species, the price of the goat meat is being amongst the highest. As just now we were being discussing, the price of the goat meat is being, or the sheep meat is being touching almost 1,000 rupees a kg in the metro, especially in the Hyderabad or Bangalore or maybe in Delhi also. So it's a huge demand is being there. So that's why I usually say that the goat is not a poor man's cow. It's a goat is a future animal. And this is being attributed by all others also. You can see the increase in the goat population from 1951 from 47 million to 150 millions in 2019. So almost 215% increase is being there. But it's being not able to keep the pace with the cattle and buffalo. If we see that the population of the livestock, especially the cattle and buffalo, is being increased only 0.16% on a regular basis, on an annual basis in a last 3 decades, whereas goat population is increasing at a 1.04%. Where the milk, if you can see that there is increase in the 9.17% in the livestock, whereas goat it's 4.72%. So meat also it's couldn't able to keep the pace, and 6.01% increase is there in the goat meat, whereas the overall livestock meat is being increased at a rate of 8.2%. So it's forming around 27% of the total livestock population in India, and almost 33 million farmers are being dependent on it for its employment generation and others. But still it is being the having a low productivity, because it's being reared on the common CPR systems only. Common residual property residues are being available over there, and they are being going for that purpose. But the green fodder availability, concentrated feed, if you keep in an overall, it's being a deficit by almost 36% to 42% is being there over there. And the CPR number is also being decreasing by 52%, you can say. So that's why there is a more stress on the zero grazing system. We are being moving from the regular extensive system to the stall feeding system, so that the energy gained through food should not be lost in the search of the food during the extensive system, and the average daily gain should be improved. And the goats are now being omnipresent. They are being, earlier it was being considered as one of the arid area. Now, as I've already mentioned, it's being moving out even to the humid and the humid area also. And almost lot many commercial goat farmers are being coming up, not only in South India, even in the North India, especially goat population is on the rise in the Rajasthan also in the last period. That's too in a commercial setup. And if we see the world scenario, the more than 1100 million goats are being available, and it's being more than 3% increase is being there. Out of this 1100 million or 1.1 billion, you can see that that's basically being coming up majorly from the Asia and the Africa. Almost 95% of the population is Asia and Africa, and they are being having a huge biodiversity. 681 breeds are being identified in the goat throughout the world. And if you see in India, almost 37 breeds are being identified, and Black Bengal forms the number one with an 18.6% population. Whereas if you see, still with after 37 breeds, around 63.5% of the total goat population is being non-distinct, and only 27.4% are the purebred and 9.1% are the graded one. And the major coming up after Black Bengal is the Marwadi breed, which is a Rajasthan based. And now the other breeds, they are also being coming up. Their population is also increasing, especially the Barbary, Jamnapari, Sojar. These their population is being increasing nowadays. If we see the meat production system, if the world meat production, 360 million tons of the meat is being produced as per the FAO data, and the goats are being forming only 1.8% of the total meat production. Whereas in India, with a production of 1.27 million tons of the goat meat, we are being forming around 13.53% of the total meat production in India. And the total meat production is being substantially being increasing, and it's on a right pace. Around 9.29 million tons of the total meat is being produced in India. If we see that the non-vegetarian population is also being increasing. In 2014, a survey was being carried out by the NSSO. In that, there was a 71.4% of the Indian population was a non-vegetarian. Whereas in 2019 survey, they have found that the 77% of the Indians over the age of 15 are non-vegetarian. But the availability of the meat is still being a big constraint. We are being producing 9.2 million tons of the meat out of this, but the per capita availability, if we that's for a 77% of the population is being around 6.8 kg. So that forms around only 17.8 gram per person per day present availability, whereas as per the recommendation of the Indian Council of Medical Research is being 30 gram per person per day. So it's being around 11.5 kg of the meat is being required per person per annum, and we are being still lacking that one. And if you see the other, especially the 12 countries, they are being almost 100 to 105 kg is the meat consumption per capita is being there. And many of the times the consumption of the meat is also being correlated. It has a correlation with the economy of the country also. So more the GDP is there, more the consumption of the meat is being there. It is being true, and it's being happening. It's being increasing with that aspect also. And if you see the dynamics of the goat meat, you can see that the demand of the goat meat is being increasing. And in 1961, we were being producing only 0.235 million tons of the goat meat, and now it is being 1.27 million tons of the goat meat is being produced. And if you see how much population is being slaughtered, the number of the slaughtered heads is being increasing. And 2021, you can see that's out of 150 million animals, 111 million animals were being slaughtered. That forms around 74.84% of the total livestock population. And if you see this graph, the green color graph, you can find that there is a regular increase in the percentage of the slaughtered animals. That is basically because of the higher demand of the goat meat in the market. That's been happening. But the point of concern is always being there that our productivity, because we are still being rearing. Majority, almost 75 to 80% of the animals are being reared on an extensive system, and that's to a zero input system. No concentrate feeding, nothing is being reared. Animals are not reared, especially for the meat purposes or others. And the average carcass yield per animal is still being low. It is only 11.4 kg in India, whereas if you see the world average of the carcass weight is 17.4 kg per animal is being there. And in Asia also it's 12.6 kg, Africa 11.5 kg, and Oceania 23.5 kg per animal carcass yield is being there. So we have to look into it. Though usually people usually say that we are having a small breed, especially the Black Bengal and the which is being forming around almost 19% of the total goat population, and this is being having a small animal, so the carcass weight is being low. But if you see the west, especially your Bangladesh and others, where almost 70% of the goats are being Black Bengal only, and they are having a higher carcass yield than us, that is being around 11.6 to 11.8 kg is being there, and we are lower than that. No doubt the difference is being very less, but still it is being lesser than the Bangladesh also. Whereas we are being much lesser than the our Pakistan close neighbor, which is being have a carcass yield is being more than 16 kg are be there, and their major breeds they usually say that it's being a large size breeds are being there. And the per capita slaughter rate, if you see the goat, it's being highest in the Mongolia is being there, around 1.57 animals are being slaughtered per person, and it's being second South Sudan and others are being happening over there. And if you see the trends in the goat meat production in India, you will find that the goat meat production is been increasing, but the share of the goat meat in the total meat production is being decreasing. We were being in 2010, we were being the goat meat share was being around 17.5%, and this has been reduced to 13.5% in the 2019 or other. It means we are unable to keep the pace with the other meat, the speed which they are being growing. But the demand for the goat meat in the international market is being also being very good, and it's been increasing. And in last year itself, almost 500 crore rupees goat meat was being exported from India to various countries, especially the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Maldives, and the Omans are being there. And Indian meat market is being expected is being growing at the rate of around 5.62%. So our goat meat production should also be paced with that same level. However, the demand for the small goat kits, meat from the small goat kits, that is being known as a capreto, is being higher, around 6 to 8 kg, and the chivon from the older animals is being comparatively lower, whereas the chivon demand in the domestic market is being higher, whereas the capreto demand is being in the international market, which is being going especially to the European counterparts, the France and others, that's being more popular over there. So we have to make a proper balancing between the slaughter rate of the animals, especially with respect to the small size as well as the large size, as well as the weight of the animal, also the age of the animal also. So in this context, as I've already mentioned, almost 75% of the animals are being slaughtered. So that also lead to the major problems, especially with the availability of the elite germplasm. So there is a strong need to develop a slaughter policy, and the proper saving down of our elite germplasm should be there. And if you see that the export of the Indian sheep and goat, the details are being mentioned over there, and how it is being moving up, some data is there. And this export is basically being carried out by the 16 recognized slaughterhouses by the APIDA, Agriculture Processed Export Development Agency. They are having a 16 recognized slaughterhouses in India, which are being exporting the goat meat for the different countries. However, for the buffalo, this number is being 80. So you can imagine that still there is being requirement is being there. Highest number of these sheep and goat slaughterhouses are being UP 7, Maharashtra 4, Telangana and the Haryana 2 each, one in Punjab. However, majority of the goats are being slaughtered in the unrecognized or small or the municipal corporation slaughterhouses. Especially the slaughter of the goats is being more popular during the sacrifice days. the slaughter of the goat is being more unhygienic and more safety aspect, food safety aspect is not being taken care while going for that purpose, because majority of our slaughterhouses in the municipal corporations as well as the slaughter shops, they are being not carrying out the proper cleaning, hygienic proper attributes, which hygienic precautions which are being required. No antemartum and postmortem is being carried out by the during the clandestine slaughter, which is being very popular. Maybe one or two animals are being slaughtered in one shop or others, and that's why we have to look into those factors also. But still, the contribution of the sheep and the goat in the meat sector is being more than 1 lakh crore is being there, but it has a potential to contribute more than 1 lakh 50,000 crore rupees. So the organized goat farms are being coming up in Rajasthan as well as in UP and other parts because of the high demand of the goat meat in the domestic market. And there is almost, and it's being promoted by the under the National Livestock Mission also. More than 3,000 goat farms has been come up, and goat meat is being premium meat. And even in the remotest area of India, it is being sold at the rate of around 600 rupees per kg. The major plus point of the goat marketing is the majority of the byproducts, they are also being marketed, they are also being consumed. In the wastage, we can say that at these slaughterhouses is being a minimum. If we go for the organized slaughtering systems and others, our quality will be improved, better traceability, and we can go for a better marketability, and the byproduct utilization will be more towards the premium products. We can go for the byproducts processed and into the premium products, so that we can fetch higher prices in, and the total meat price can be reduced. It can be the everybody should able to manage the price of the goat meat. And the goat meat, as if you see the goat gross value of the current basic price, it is being forming around the goat industry around 1,20,000 crore rupees is being there, contributing around 8.27% of the total livestock sector. And there is a huge demand, as you might be knowing, even during the FIFA World Cup, the Black Bengal goat meat was being very popular over there, and especially the Haringata, West Bengal, they have exported more than 1,000 kg of the goat meat to the Qatar ahead of the tournament. And goat farming, especially the organized goat farming is being coming up, it's being increasing. And you have heard lot many news that during this Qurbani season, more than 3 crore animals were being slaughtered in a week itself. And the price of the goat meat is also being as high as to 1,000. And the goat animals, the bakras for the sacrifice, they are being sold even at a high price of 1 lakh to, even you might have known that there is a news in the being there that Salman Khan has purchased the bakra at the rate of around 21 lakh rupees, like 51 lakh rupees. So many rumors are being there that the pricing of the in the market. However, still we can say that the goat marketing system is unorganized, and this is a right time for the transformation of the concept in the goat sector is the production by masses to the mass production system. Especially the goat breeds which are being commonly, because there is a very poor management system is being there, and so the average carcass weight is being varying from 8 to 10 kg. So the farmers are not getting the due credit with respect to the revenue, and the feed availability, especially the locally available feeds, that should be in a balanced form. Total mixed ration should be availability. The availability of the mineral mixtures, the availability of the concentrates for the especially in the form of the pellets to the different age groups is also being important. Secondly, the genetic potential, as I've already mentioned, there is only 26% of the total goat population, they are being the pure bred. 11% are being considered as a upgraded one. Still, there is a very big chunk of the goat population is there which is being nondescript, and this population is not being reared as such. There no guidelines are being available, nothing is being there. So we have to look into all those factors, how we can control it so that it can also become an organized sector as the poultry industry has come up. If we see the quality of the goat meat, it's been unique in flavor. It's been one of the leanest meat amongst the red meat, and it's been one of the preferred meat also. And you see that the traditionally also the sheep and goat meat was being part of the habit of the eating, and the processed products like mantas, the Spanish Cecenia di Castron, the Italian violin di Capra, or the Brazilian charqui, and halim in the Indian dishes and others. The Hyderabadi biryani. How we can forget about the Hyderabadi biryani? That is the mutton biryani and others. All these are the traditional products. The even Vazwan of the especially of the J&K Vazwan, all products are being prepared from sheep and goat. So sheep and goat meat, lot of traditional products are being available, and so the demand of the sheep and the goat meat in the market, in the domestic market, is very, very high. And there is as I've already mentioned, that there is a huge gap in the demand and the supply also. That's why the price of the meat is being increasing every day. Especially if you see that the goat carcasses, they have a higher muscle to bone ratio. Goat meat cuts have a fat content of around 50 to 60% lower than the similarly prepared beef. So that's why the international market also demand is being increasing. It is being, the fat percentage is also even lower than the mutton. The percentage of the saturated fat in goat meat is being 40% less than the chicken, if you see without skin, and far below the beef, pork, and lamb. Unsaturated fatty acid predominant in goat meat, around 68.5% to 72.3% are being there. Cholesterol content in chivon is being lower than all other food animals. If we see the comparatively calories and others also, you can see that it's been chivon, it has been higher. Even the iron content, you can see it's been much higher than the all other meat animals are being there. So the quality of the goat meat is being very good for the human consumption. And we see that generally the goat meat is being sold as a full carb, maybe in the not in a proper cut up parts. It's being so the goat meat primal cuts as well as the retail cuts as per the requirement of the traditional meat products and other, it should be known. And the proper training of the slaughtermans as well as other is being important, so that we can easily separate out the high priced cuts and the low priced cuts, and accordingly the branding as well as the marketing channels can be fixed up. What are the basic issues and the concerns with respect to the goat meat industry in India? It's been rather, I should say that these issues and the concerns are being very common with all the meat industry, and with a special reference to the goat meat, as there is a lacking of the cold chain. So that's why our cold chain is fragmented. So as this meat is a perishable meat and it's being prone for the growth of the microbes and others also, that the quality is another issue is being there. So the maintenance of the cold chain is a very, very important. Moreover, second important thing is that the demand of the chilled meat in the international market is being increasing. Especially the Gulf region, they are preferring the chilled goat meat in place of the frozen goat meat. So especially the transportation of the chilled goat meat should be improved, and that's been the need of the hour being there. How we can maintain that cold chain, and immediately after slaughter, within next 2 days or 3 days, it should reach to their consumer and it should be consumed. And that's the basically issue of. So if we want to fetch the higher market ratio or higher market share in the international level, especially in this part, which is being nearby to our nearby to our country due to its geographical positioning, we should capture those. And there is a demand and supply gas, the marketing and the consumer attitude. The marketing system, as I've already mentioned, it's being non-existent, literally speaking. There is no marketing system is being there. There is some people, there is a at a mandis, goat mandis or the bakra mandis are being placed at a different places, and the traders, they are being buying from them, and they are being selling it to the again to the slaughtermans, and the slaughtermans, they are being doing it, and then they are being selling it to the consumers. So there are the many middlemen are being coming up. So the realization of the price to the farmer is being lesser. Secondly, there's a difference in the attitude of the consumers are also being there. Like in North India, they prefer to have a more of the goat meat, whereas in the South India, they have a preference toward the mutton. So this type of the consumer attitude, it also lead to the marketing system should also taken into account those aspects also. Then the byproduct utilization and the environment safety. This is also one of the major issues are being no doubt the byproduct utilization in the goat industry is being higher because of the clandestine slaughter and everything is being there. Still, the byproduct like the skin and others, the pricing of the skin in the market is being decreasing, and the trimmings and other which is being lost, especially the blood is which is being lost. So that's also leading to the environment safety issues. And moreover, as I've already mentioned, these byproducts are a more valuable. If we go for the processing, we can have a higher priced processed products from these byproducts, and we can fetch higher prices. So the processing cost can be reduced, as well as the price of the meat can be reduced, so that the availability of the goat meat to the consumers at a lower prices can be carried out. The inflation which is being going on, that can be curtailed. And there is a huge shortage of the skilled manpower is also being there. So for that purpose, we are being conducting regular training programs also. And one of our training program, especially for the farmers which want to rear the animals for the meat production, as well as for the development of the value-added meat products, we are being starting a training program from 18th of September to 20. This is 7 days program. Then the safety issue, as I've already mentioned, there is a fragmented cold chain is being there. So microbiological safety and the chemical safety. No doubt, these 80% of the goats are being reared on a natural farming system or a grazing system, and the chemicals in especially these are being very less, and but we have personally observed, or many times it has been seen that there is the antimicrobial usage of the antimicrobials or random antimicrobial is also being there. These type of the issues should be taken care. Though I'm agreed on this issue that the chemical safety is a comparatively a lesser problem in goat or the small ruminants in comparison to the other meat. Authenticity, it's one of the biggest issue, as well already mentioned. The common adulteration of goat meat with the sheep meat is very, very common. The traceability issue, halal certification, the mycotoxins and others, antibiotic resistance in meat-borne pathogens, and the hygiene is a next important issue. As I've already mentioned, the majority, almost 80% of the animals, they are being slaughtered in a unrecognized slaughterhouses, and they are being in a very, very poor condition are being there. And there's one Times of India, you might have read this newspaper also cutting also. So they have given a special on that, how the meat trail is being going on, how the contamination of the meat, and what is the condition of the slaughterhouses. But we have to look into those factors also. The basic cleaning, the proper hand washing facility or the efficient cleaning systems and other, that's also being lacking in the common slaughterhouses. But the change is being happening, but it's a very slow pace, and this change is being more faster in case of the poultry than rather than in case of the goat. The differentiation of the carcasses of the sheep and goat, that is one of the major problem of adulteration are being there, because many of the consumers, especially in the North India, they are ready to pay higher price for the goat meat than the sheep meat, and a lot of things are being happening in the market. They can especially symbolize that this is a goat carcass and others, but for our participants, the basic points of differentiation between sheep and goat are being there. That's it's being the sheep back and withers are being round and well fleshed, whereas in goat this is sharp back and withers are being have a little flesh. Thorax is a barrel shaped in sheep, and whereas in goat it is being flattened laterally, like you can see over here also. That here you can say sheep carcass it's being a barrel shaped is being there, whereas in goat it's being a laterally flattened. Then tail is being fairly broad, thin are being there, where radius the 1.25 times length of the metacarpus, whereas in goat it is being the double the length of the metacarpus. Scapula short and broad, superior spine bent back and thickened, whereas in goat it is being distinct neck, spine straight and narrow. Sacrum is a lateral border thickened in the form of the rolls, and the lateral border thin and sharp are being there in case of the goat. Flesh is pale red and fine in texture in the sheep, whereas in goat it is being more darker, coarse, and especially goaty odor, which is being coming up. That's the peculiar goaty odor in case of the goat are being there. That's moreover sticky subcutaneous tissues which may have an adherent goat hair also. That can be easily can be detected and easily can be differentiated. Common size of the small selected goat breeds around the world, if you see, and especially in case of the India, the Barbary, Jamnapari, Beetle, Black Bengal, they are being the height is being reaching up to the like in Bengal, Black Bengal around 40 to 45 centimeter, whereas in Jamnapari it's being 90 to 100, and the weight is also being increasing around body weight is also reaching in case of Jamnapari and Beetle around 70 kg, whereas in Black Bengal it is around 15 to 20, 15 kg only, whereas in Barbary it's also 35 to 45 are being there. So the selection of the breed for rearing for the especially for the meat purpose and others also being one of the important aspect for the goat farming system. If we see the distribution of the fat distribution and the yield of the different Indian goat breeds, especially the Barbary, Marwari, and Jamnapari, the size of the testes or the weight of the testes, pancreas, spleen, kidney, liver, heart. This is being mentioned. The study has been conducted at CIRG. And the amino acid ratio, we can find that the Chivon, they have a better amino acid ratio, especially the arginine, isoleucine, leucine, as well as the threonine and tryptophan are being higher in percentage in case of the Chivon in comparison to the beef, pork, and the lamb are being there. And the fatty acid profile, it is also being carried out in our institute itself. And the fatty acid profile of the Barbary goat, if you can see, the majority of the ratio between the polyunsaturated fatty acid and saturated fatty acid is being higher than the lamb and the even from the beef and the pork are being there. And the goat meat has especially the salubrious fatty acid profile, more easily digestible and others, especially it's being important with respect to the health conscious consumers. And the PUFA and SFA ratio in the different muscle is being ranging between 0.16 to 0.49 in the goat meat. In the medium around 0.32 is being there. However, the quality and other factors, they are being changed. They can also be controlled, especially for the goat meat and other stuff in the production phase. If we manage the selection of the breed, the slaughter age, pre-slaughter conditions, the animal handling, these basically leads to the how the quality that basically directs the quality of the goat meat. Whereas in the pre-slaughter phase, the transportation and the lairage, hydration, the transportation and the lairage, especially the stress control factor is being there, so that the problem like the stress should not be there. The quality of the meat should be better. And in the slaughter phase, if you are being proper stunning should be carried out, there should be the humane slaughter should be there, and the proper aging should be carried out, so that the conversion of muscle into meat should be in an appropriate manner, and we should get in a best quality meat. And there is a lot of demand for the value added products also, and the processed meat market is being growing. In the last few decades, there is the booming with the Zomato and others, Uber and other, they are being coming up. So the demand of the Indian delicacies is also being improved manifold. So value addition always fetches a higher prices. And if you see what is value addition in a broad definition, it is basically the economically add value to a product by changing its current place, time, and form characteristics. So according to the market, as I've already mentioned, we have to divide the carcass into the high priced cuts and the low price cuts. Accordingly, the branding and the marketing channel should be set up. So that's also given a higher prices or the higher realization of the revenues, and ultimately to the for the benefit of the farmers. Demand for the meat is being increasing. Even the dietitians, they are also being recommending the goat chop and the next chicken breast also. So it's being improving with the increase in the population growth of meat eating people, the standard upgrading the living standards and awareness also, the globalization and industrialization, all these factors, the increasing in the GDP and others, all these are leading to the increase in the demand of the meat are being there, and we require at least the demand of the goat meat will be more than 2 million tons are being required in 2020-25. And various self-stable as well as the other meat products can be are being developed at CIRG also, CIRG, especially the self-stable products, which does not require any type of the cold chain. And especially the pickle, nimki, murukku, biscuits, and the retort processed curry products also, they are being protein rich and highly acceptable. They have been stable at a room temperature condition from 2 to 12 months, depending on the conditions and other factors. Then the emulsion based products, which are being having high demand, these are basically being sold as a frozen meat products, nuggets, kebabs, sausages, patties, meatballs or koftas, the traditional meat products like shami kebab, etc. Even the functional meat products, the functionality is being of the meat product is being improved by addition of the either to the dietary fiber or decreasing the calorie content, decreasing the fat or the low fat, low calories, low cholesterol, or increasing the healthiness with the addition of the minerals or the fortifications. So many different types of the functional meat products have been developed, which can promote the health of the individuals, and balancing of the fatty acid profiling and others also being carried out by addition of the omega-3 fatty acids, the fiber-rich products, low salt, low fat, omega-3 fatty acid products, these type, so that we can cater the demand of the health conscious consumers also, and this is being increasing day by day. And ready to eat meat products like croquettes, biscuits, kurkure, meat buddies, they have a storage life of more than 3 months. Meat buddies and others, they are also being one of the most important. It can improve the marketing system. The variety will be available to the consumers. The convenience will be provided by this, and so we can fetch higher prices in the market, and it has a lot of scope for the entrepreneurs. And in if we see in case of the meat sector, the CIRG has worked on the technological, nutritional, texture, and sensory characteristics, as well as the use of the vegetable oil, the managing the ratio of the PUFA and SFA, and the increase in the omega-3 fatty acid contents and others is also being carried out. The use of to improve the functionality, the addition of the moringa leaves, the bale pulp residues and others, the guava powders, which has more of the antioxidants. So there's so that the stress booster meat products has been developed by our institution, and a lot of work has been carried out on especially on the functional meat products, functional goat products, using the lychee, quercetin, and the different types of the antioxidant compounds, phenolic compounds, which not only extend the shelf life of the meat as well as they improve the functionality. And we have also carried out the development of the nutritionally enriched goat meat nuggets with the various types of the nutrients, especially the ascorbic acid, ROCs, and TDF. Especially as the millet year is being going on, we have also used the ragi, oats, and others for the to improve the fiber content as well as to improve the functionality of the meat product. The cost of production is also can be decreased with the use of these type of the binders and others, which these type of the nutrients, and it's being the cost of production can be reduced so that the availability of the processed meat to everyone can be carried out. So processing is the need of the hour because the trends in the market are being changing. Consumers segmentation and the regulations are being also being improving. FSSAI has given now regulations for the functional meat products also, functional food products also, and the processed meat products, they are provide the variety, marketability. They are with the requirement is being increasing, their demand is being increasing with the urbanization and the population also. And they can, if we are going for processing, we can the inflation can be curbed. I usually say that if you are going for processing, the pricing of the meat can be maintained. The inflation can be curbed on that regard itself. And with the changing demographics, the meat processing requirement is being increasing. The nuclear families are being coming up. So majority of the products they are being there. Now even the ethnic meat products like halim, kebab, goshtaba, akhni, korma, they are also being available nowadays in a packaged form, and others are being there. And their demand in the European market has also been increasing as the Indians, they are being moving to the world. So the demand of the Indian traditional meat product in the world market is also being increasing. And our institute has a food testing lab facilities in the form of the National Accreditation Board for the laboratories. Under that, we are being quality assessment of all the, especially the nutritional, compositional quality and the microbiological quality, sensory quality, and the textural quality attributes. They are being checked out in our institution under the NABL laboratory. And the various this brands are also being coming up. No doubt the poultry have better branding for the poultry meat is being there. Like lot of players are being there like Venki, Godrej, Saguna. They are being coming up into the poultry sector, whereas very few demand brands are being there in the goat meat, and this segment have a lot of potential. The kithi or the goat meat is being there, farm bred, though the Lysias and others, the Zomato, Uber, big baskets, they are being supplying the goat meat, but the branding and others is being still being required. The brands, this market branded goat meat hardly are being available. And with the increase in the e-commerce, the marketing system is being allowed nowadays. The harnessing of the mobile networking system for the database for the marketing is being the very important, and this can go on those lines, e-commerce lines also. And there is a lot of scope is being coming up, and a lot of farmers are also becoming, especially the few brands like Fresh to Home, Lysias, Tender Cut, Pipola, Fresh. They are being online platforms which are being providing the sheep, goat meat in addition to the other meats also. But as I've already mentioned, the brands, the availability of the goat, only the goat meat brands or the sheep meat brands is still being lacking, and there is a lot of demand is being there. If we are being providing authentic goat meat or chivan or the authentic mutton, the demand is being very high and the people are ready to pay. And there is a very big segment is being there which can pay for these branded items also. And the market, if we see the market, the Maharashtra, Deonar, Bakra Mandi or Bakra Mandi is being there. This is basically a traders. I've listed out the markets of the different states which are being selling it out, the goats, and it's being one of the biggest markets are being there. If we look into it's a generalized marketing channels which are being there, or marketing drivers are being, especially I can tell you, this is the common marketing driver for the meat with a special reference to our goat meat. There is a huge increase in the demand of the animal-based food. Even we have personally observed that the demand of the goat milk and the meat is being increased manifold after the corona period, because of its a nutritional value and others. The people are being more awareness has occurred during the corona period. The nutritional requirement has been, people have assessed the nutritional requirement and they are being going more for the animal based foods, especially the protein rich diets. There's a growing demand for the functional meat products also. And the e-commerce marketing system is being increasing. It's being generally. However, there are some issues are being there which are being restraining the processed meat market, especially the people are being maligning the processed meat with meat products that it's in having a carcinogenic effect because of the use of the nitrates and others are there. So there is a lot many issues they are being putting up. There is a lot of problems they usually show it, but it is not being there. Even nowadays the alternative meat-based alternatives are being available in, and especially you can see that the lab-grown meat is also being coming up. So, however, personally, on a personal level, I usually recommend that we have such a huge livestock population in India, which can be easily available for the meat purpose to majority of the consumers. We should not look into the lab-grown meat, which is having a lot many issues, especially with the genetically modified products and others are being there. Lot many issues are being there. So we should more focus on increasing the productivity of our meat animals. One of FAO report, they states that the gross production value of the goat meat in India is even higher than that of the buffalo meat. Buffalo meat is one of the most important meat which is being exported more than 25,000 crore rupees. Buffalo meat is being exported annually, but you can see that the total gross production value of the goat meat is being much higher than the buffalo meat. And there is a huge demand is being there, but the majority of the demand is in the domestic market and it is coming from the unregulated, unorganized sector. As I've already detailed out the technologies which are being available with the CIRG, especially on the value addition, functional meat product development, the slaughtering protocols, the development of the different cut-up parts, high-priced cuts and the low-priced cuts, and the SOPs of the traceability and others are being available. So we are CIRG is being having a hand-holding approach for the farmers and others are being there for the small entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs. We basically we want that our entrepreneurs, the associated, should become successful. For that purpose, our approach is that we go for the hands-on training program, and we are being helping them to develop a bankable project so that they can get up the loan from the banks. The equipments, requirement of the equipment, their setting of the specifications, even with the linking of the different equipment production houses, quality evaluation of their products, raw products as well as the developed products, both are being carried out in our lab itself. Then we are also being extending our CIRG facility for the processing for the product. If like some of the entrepreneur want to come into the processing line, and he want that before setting up of his own unit or the capital investment is being higher, to avoid that one, he can use our equipments and the product can be developed over here, and then he can go and market it. If he finds that his venture is a successful, he can set up his own unit by investment through different by investment into the equipment sector. So basic pushing up of the entrepreneur can be carried out by utilizing the facilities at a CIRG method. So it provides basically the test marketing system for that purpose. And we are also being helping them for packaging, logo designing, and so that they can go for a successful entrepreneurs. And not even on that one, once the training is being given, we are being setting up a WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, if there is having any problem, they can write even in the office hours. We are providing them the solutions to their problems. So goat meat has a worldwide acceptance, and India has a potential to emerge as a market leader because we are being number one in the world goat population, and the second number is the China. Earlier, the China was being the number one in the goat population. Now the India is the number one in the goat population. So low productivity or the low carcass yield is a very big challenge for us. For that purpose, we should look into that the breed improvement, as well as the nutritional, the feed availability or the nutrition improvement of the animals. Then we have to look into the unhygienic slaughtering conditions which are being over there. So we have to look into those factors also, especially the awareness program about the processed products, the training program, the capacity building program, our focus, and productization, better value to these byproduct industries, so that we can curtail the inflation on the goat meat, and we are being helping our commercially viable goat farmers as well as those entrepreneurs, those have developed the meat products. We are being regularly in touch, and if anybody is being interested for the training program, we can design the training module as per their requirement also. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your patience hearing.